Hello and welcome to our review of Veronica Mars. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
And this week we are discussing the episode Weevils Wobbles. Weevils wobble, but they don't go down. This episode originally aired May 22nd, 2007. Let us start off with video games that released on this date. There's some stuff. Okay. If you had a PS2, you could pick up Odin Sphere, which I'm sure
Yes.
was a thing that people played.
Yes, very much, with the particulars of the company that worked on it being developed by Vanillaware, and oh man, they make all the things look so pretty.
Alrighty. Also on May 22nd, if you had a GameCube, Nintendo DS, PS2, PS3, PSP, Wii, PC, or an Xbox 360, you could pick up Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Yes, because it was the traditional thing to do to get it on just about everything. But not the toaster. What were they thinking?
Also on the 22nd, if you had a PS2, you could pick up Dawn of Mana.
Yeah.
Also on the 22nd, if you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up Death Jr. and the Science Fair of Doom.
Indeed, though the slight case have never managed to get into the Death Junior series.
Me either. I don't think I've played any of them. And finally, if you had a Nintendo DS, you could pick up Marvel Trading Card Game.
Because it seemed like the obvious thing to do at the time.
I guess. Number one film in America, Dave. I'm not even going to ask you because it's Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving along, number one song in America, Dave. Any guesses what it could be?
Again, with that stuff there.
I will be shocked if you get this because I feel like it is very much not your style of music.
Again, with a couple things that have kind of been going on. It's either the case of traditional singer-songwriter that was popular at the time and or some sort of rap groups that there's not a good chance that I could supposedly pin down the name.
It's a song called "Buy You a Drink," and then in brackets, "Shoddy Snappin'." It's by T-Pain featuring Young Jock.
Okay, kind of the case of most likely I heard the song, but also kind of the case of, yeah, mostly just kind of the noise with that kind of particular music.
Yeah, T-Pain was a thing for a little while. Um, yep, that happened. Moving along, let us get into the episode. Alrighty. So, we start off in a checkout line to pay for frozen yogurt. Mac and Veronica discuss their relationship with Piz and what her FBI internship will mean for them. They then see someone getting arrested by the campus police for a fake student ID / debit card, because it's kind of like the meal card is built into your student ID. Weevil injures himself, but finds himself unable to receive adequate benefits. Veronica gets Piz to accept her leaving for the internship. At the sheriff's station, Weevil is called out by several students as being the one who gave them the fake cards. Weevil is put in the jail cell, but he tells Veronica that he thinks they targeted him because he was showcased in her criminology class. She investigates several of the owners of the student IDs who do seem genuine in accusing Weevil. Weevil gets bail, but Keith informs him that a student ID printing machine was found in the locker next to Weevil's. Veronica and Wallace speak to a mechanical engineering professor who says that it would be impossible for Weevil to be the culprit. Piz invites Keith to appear on a show in an election special before Keith informs Veronica that Weevil's fingerprints were found all over the printing thing.
Oh,
Keith and Vinny debate on Piz's show, and Vinny gathers some support about his lax underage drinking policy. Wallace notices someone following him, and the student wants to recruit him for a secret society. Vinny insists Keith's handling of his home life and Vinny insults Keith's handling of his home life, and Veronica hits him in the head lightly. She helps Weevil retrace his steps and notices one of her criminology classmates, Jenny, involved with one of Weevil's clients. He fixed a sink in their dorm room. Veronica deduces that Jenny and her circle of friends are responsible for creating the fake student IDs, disseminating them, and implicating Weevil. Logan and Dick go surfing, and they run into Veronica, Piz, and Mac helping Wallace with his final project for a class. Veronica learns that one of Jenny's group lives in the same town in Georgia where the student ID machines are made. Veronica's called into a room in the library by Jenny's group, who try to bribe her into not turning them into the Hearst police. However, she denies and records their conversation as further proof. They are hiding a third ID machine, and Veronica tells Weevil to go and find it. Dick shows Veronica a sex tape of Piz and Veronica that has been circulating in an email. Because Logan thinks Piz posted the tape, he attacks Piz and beats him pretty harshly. Weevil does have a student ID machine, and Logan walks into Mars Investigations with Piz's blood on him. Okay. So what do we think of this episode?
This one, it turned out to be fairly interesting with the base idea of all the mystery solving and whatnot from there, as well as following sort of the typical sort of formula. A little bit of sort of going back to form in some of the cases where previous episodes have kind of had either different ideas or focused on a different sort of message within some of the episodes. But yeah, in some cases, it's just the typical things that kind of happened were typical things that kind of happened in the past. Weevil getting blamed for a thing that he didn't do, and ended the episode with Weevil having the particular sorts of things which supposedly in the future could cause issues. And then Logan, God damn it, Logan just being Logan.
Yeah, but it also kind of, the end of the episode kind of is like, well, Weevil could have done it. Like, he could have just been lying.
Yeah, true. Placing in that implication of things as well.
Yeah, and obviously Logan attacking Piz, I'm sure that won't come up in the season finale next week.
No, it's a perfect average day of Logan flying off the handle as per usual.
Yes, he does tend to do that a lot. But yeah, I thought this was a good episode. It's setting things up for next week primarily, and it has a fun little mystery for the one episode.
And I think it was interesting just with the particular ideas of Veronica meeting up with the crew of people being like, we have a proposition for you. It's like, you're not going to turn me into a vampire, are you?
I do appreciate that, yes. Yeah, this was a fun episode, and it sets up some good stuff for the season finale next week. Which, oh boy, that will be filled with drama.
Yeah, there was the case of the recording and whatnot with Veronica and whatnot, and there was implications of it, but it seems fairly light, so I'm sure the next episode's going to have one heck of a heyday with it.
Oh, yes. And speaking of the next episode is called The Bitch Is Back.
I wonder why that is.
It would air on the same day as this episode.
Okay, so kind of the double season finale sort of thing?
Yes, they aired both these episodes on the same night, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just prior to this, the Bitch Is Back going to air, it was announced that Veronica Mars was canceled, and that this would be the series finale, at least for now. Alrighty, so in this episode, Veronica investigates the origins of a sex tape of her and Piz. Renouncing Logan because he assaulted Piz, Veronica eventually discovers that the perpetrators are a secret society at Hearst College known as the Castle, headed by someone who's returning. Meanwhile, Parker ends her relationship with Logan, and Keith navigates the issues surrounding his candidacy in the upcoming sheriff's election. Yes, so like I said, I'm sure there will be absolutely no drama next week. So, until then, I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.